Hi, this is David Davis from ActualTech Media. We're live here at VMworld 2016 in Las Vegas, and I'm excited to be joined by Mr. Alan Cohen, who's the Chief Commercial Officer from Illumio. How you doing, Alan?
I'm great. How are you today?
I'm great. So VMworld's going on here. It's exciting. Lots of announcements around cloud, software-defined data center, software-defined everything.
Right.
And I've been following Illumio now for a while. You guys have been on my radar because you're doing some really cool stuff around software-defined networking. You want to tell us a little bit more about what Illumio does and how you help companies?
I'm happy to. So Illumio at its heart is a security company.
Okay.
And we provide a range of security services that include visibility, microsegmentation, and encryption in large, distributed, heterogeneous, dynamic, distributed environments. So our customers tend to be medium and larger enterprises that are now starting to address the interior of their data center or cloud from a security point of view, much like NSX. But they'll probably be more heterogeneous. So they'll still have bare metal, or they'll be using containers, or they'll be running an Amazon or Azure.
Okay. So for companies out there who are interested in evolving their network and they have a changing network and maybe interested in cloud, different hypervisors, and especially security, how does Illumio, kind of give us the walkthrough. I'm interested in Illumio. What would I do? How would I implement it, and how would it help me?
Oh, it's a great question. So there's really kind of an interesting process. So the first service in Illumio is something we call illumination, right?
Okay.
We didn't do it because it sounds like a Harry Potter spell. We did it because the first challenge people have is they don't really have very good visibility or understanding of what's going on the inside. So for the last 15 years, most of the spending in security has been at the perimeter. So kind of hard, crunchy exterior, soft, chewy interior. So we'll give them effectively, in a short way, an MRI. So we'll show all their applications, all their workloads, all their servers, and all their traffic flows from that. That's kind of a first step. The second step would then to write an adaptive segmentation policy. I might want to say, I don't want anything in dev to talk to production. Or I have a critical application, let's say that my Hadoop cluster, so I want to put a segmentation ring fence around it. Or I might say, hey, I have a web tier in Amazon and I have my core applications in my data center and I want to be able to stretch that segmentation model to do that. So the second step would be create it and then put that in enforcement. And then in some cases I might say, hey, I'm doing a bunch of database syncs. I want to have on the fly encryption between those. So that's kind of the way, so kind of from discovery to policy to enforcement. And then the system is adaptive, so anytime anything changes in the environment, something spins up, spins down, something moves, or a piece of malware gets on a server and does things it's not supposed to, the Illumio policy compute engine, our central brain, will then take action.
Very nice. So a lot of companies, they have the hard outer shell, like you talk about. They try to protect the perimeter. Maybe they try to get some network visibility in to see what's going on, who's talking to who. But kind of what you're describing to me, it seems like the ultimate, like the Star Wars, level visibility, where you can say, okay, I want these applications to talk to these applications. I want this to be secure over here. I want to prevent this from talking to that, especially as these networks span across, multiple data centers into the cloud. That's something that you all are able to provide, kind of that dream security.
I'm glad you said it. For me, it would be a commercial, right? But but if you think about it, and PJ and our CTO and I have been talking about this a lot this week, we've seen an enormous amount of fast bandwidth, right? Layer 3 bandwidth, all these new spine leaps, SDN architectures, right? Very fast. That's created a lot of application sprawl. We have a customer that has one application that goes across 37 data centers. So the inability to really see into that and control that has been a principal driver of business for a company like Illumio in this environment. But from a cyber point of view, you use the Star Wars analogy, so I'm going to geek out a little, right? Imagine all of your compute images, all your servers, and all your operating systems, they were midichlorians. And what happens if something bad's happening and there's a verge in the force, right? So if one server is hacked and taken over, let's say it was your HR database, and it's trying to talk to your e-commerce server, that's definitely not a good idea. So we would see that attempted traffic, we would block it, and we would then actually send off the alarm bells, and we'd even auto quarantine it. So from a cyber point of view, the concept that I'm just going to have a lot of things in the interior of my data center all being able to talk to each other doesn't work anymore. And so you have to really constrain the communications. We have this little phrase, networks are about can. I mean, I can connect to you. That's the architecture of the internet. Security is about should. What should be allowed. So we're about should.
That's a great point. Yeah, that's a great point. So many companies need to secure their internal networks. Yeah. So, at VMworld here, there's a lot of talk, of course, about NSX. For companies who are maybe interested in NSX, how does that compare, or why should they look at Illumio?
So I always like to say, if you're a 99% pure VMware shop, you should use NSX.
Okay.
You would think that I would actually say that, but it's actually true. But if you're heterogeneous, you're hybrid, you're distributed, you're moving into Amazon, you're using containers, you still have bare metal, you have an alternate hypervisor, or you want really that visibility and encryption, those services, Illumio is the better alternative in those environments. I think we'll be very complementary, where you may be using NSX for network virtualization and tunneling, and you might be using Illumio for the segmentation and visibility. So in that case, it's actually very complementary. So sometimes it's competitive, sometimes it's complementary.
Very nice. And I think, a lot of companies, we like vSphere, but sticking with 95% or 100% vSphere, for the long term isn't maybe realistic. We want options. We want to move to hybrid cloud. We want to change our hypervisor. Things are dynamic and changing. So it's great that you all have an option for securing data centers and infrastructures, no matter what hypervisor or solution they're using in the future.
That's right.
So what should people do to learn more about Illumio? Is there a trial, a proof of concept? What do you recommend?
We have all those things. So we have a very active, actually free trial program. People can come to our website, sign up. The good people at Illumio, they'll be right on the phone with you in 5 seconds after you sign up. They might even be bothering you while you're filling it in. We have people all around the world who can come visit, explain, help folks with it. So all they have to do is come to www.illumio.com and we can get them started.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for your time today.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.